fast and you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want.
Hi besties, hola amigas, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be basically doing my everyday makeup, doing my makeup while telling you guys a few story times about in all the places I used to work at pretty much. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe. That way you get notified for the next story time, which is gonna be how I got these three pebbles stuck in my nose. And yes, they really are pebbles. But anyways, let's get on with the video. Unpopular opinion about How I Met Your Mother. Um, Ted and Robin, not Ted and Robin. Yeah, Ted and Robin actually do not belong together. If anything, it's Robin and Barney. Ted is honestly just annoying and desperate, and just wants to hop in the first pair of legs he sees. Not gonna lie, or that he feels is the one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it, but like, Ted, get it together. I don't know. Okay, so I already did like my little skincare, my little skin prep. So now we're gonna start with primer, and we're gonna go ahead and start on the stories. I feel like I should start from my very first job. No, my very first job, I want to say there was tea, but then there wasn't. Yeah, there was tea. Let's get started on it. So my very first job, I honestly don't give a fuck. That my very first job was Wingstop. Fuck that brand. I mean, the food's still good. Don't get me wrong, but like, fuck the manager and like the regional manager. First of all, the food. Don't get me wrong, Wingstop. If you want to sponsor me, hey, talk to the managers, regional managers in Santa Fe Springs. Just saying. But, anyways, um, I got that job. I want to say when I was 17. That was like my very first job. My friend helped me get it because she was friends with the manager. And people, I'm letting you guys know right now, if you get the job like on site, like they tell you, oh my god, you got the job, like right there, like during the interview. So like, when can you start? Run, run. That's the biggest red flag ever, because I should have ran so far. But I was there for, I want to say like a year or a little bit more. I I was still in high school. It was my senior year, and mind you, this was like COVID time. So we're online, and so me thinking it was easy, like, oh, because the training was during the mornings. I feel like that's good, just for the sake, like, so you're not throwing someone in like during night, like you're not training someone at night when it's more busy, especially for Wingstop. But what I feel like I myself didn't take into consideration, and that manager didn't take into consideration, was that it's my senior year. I had to be in class, or I was literally about not to graduate, because because of her scheduling, like her scheduling me in the mornings, her scheduling me at night. And if you know, Wingstop doesn't close until like 12 a.m. And at the time, my friend was my ride, and she was a, like, I don't want to say a manager, but like a shift lead. And so I would sometimes go home with her. So homegirl wouldn't even get off until 2. So mind you, I would basically get home like at 2:30, 3 in the morning, then have to wake up like at 7 just to like open my laptop and freaking be in so many classes. Like, I don't know why I did that to myself. But anyways, and so whatever, that was the first problem. And basically, like, when I try to even tell her about my scheduling too, like, oh, I need these certain days, these certain hours, and like I can't close, but I can have morning shift, blah blah, or like, I don't know, just stuff like that. She don't want to work with me. Not until like a second manager had to come in and basically like kind of help in a way. And she still didn't, like, I feel like for a little bit she was working with me because we got it in writing too, like me and the other manager. But then after a little bit, like, she literally just stopped working with me, and it's like, girl, like, why? Like, what's the point? Honestly, like, I kid you not. That whole freaking location was running on freaking like 20 different teenagers and probably like 3 adults. I kid you not. But anyways, that was the first cup of tea. The second cup of tea, well, kind of adding on to that, um, there was one time, I guess there's a new, don't mind me using my mirror like this. There was one time where there's a new store opening like not too far away and they needed help, but like I was like, fuck that, I do not want to go. And I guess like the regional manager at the time, or I don't know if he's still the manager, but he went into our store, I guess looking for people and telling my manager, and then I was just right there, and then my manager was like, "Oh, she could go," like putting me on the spot. I'm like, and me like when I don't know about you, but like if I'm on the spot, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh yeah," like I don't even like I won't process what's going on until probably like 5 hours later. Like probably be like, "What the fuck did I just agree to?" But anyways, and so I went to go work at that location. It was new. Everyone was nice, don't get me wrong. Everyone was nice. But when I basically found out that my manager wasn't giving me like the proper breaks, was like, and they were even getting free meals over there, like how we're apparently supposed to. She wasn't giving us free meals. She was give like we had to pay, and it was either 25% off or 50% off. If we use like let's say if our family came in and we gave them our 50%, we're now limited to only 25% off. I'm like, girl, like it's not that serious, especially if it's like wings that like someone like forgot to pick up or anything like that or never picked up. Like it's not that serious because at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, it's just gonna get thrown in the trash. Like anything that's freaking cooked and like didn't get freaking bought or anything, it's just gonna get thrown in the trash. But that was my final straw there, and that's when I decided, like, you know what, I need to go. And my boyfriend at the time freaking ended up helping me messaging her and be like, you know what? You're basically a shitty manager. You treat your employees like shit. You treat me like shit. But good luck though. And honestly, thank you to him because if it weren't for him, I would honestly probably still be there for, or like probably have been there for a little while longer. So thank God I'm not there anymore because now we're on to bigger and better things. And I know my eyebrows are looking a little iffy, but trust the process. If you see my makeup looks, trust the process. But now I'm gonna finish doing my brows off camera, like filling them in and all that good stuff, because I feel like I would be pressured and rushed to do it on camera, and they're not gonna come out as good. So I will see you girlies later and finish spilling the tea. So continuing my final horror story of Wingstop, there is this one girl who, for some reason, like, just at first she was cool, but then she literally started flirting with my boyfriend at the time because he worked there for a little bit. I'm just like, girl, and she just, for some reason, doesn't take direction well, especially when it came from me, and I wouldn't even tell her bad, and because I was there a lot for longer than her. Even though I was only there for a year out, like I said, I was there longer than her, and they literally trusted me to do so much. I made the ranch. Should I spill the secret recipe? Just kidding, it's not even a secret. I've literally seen people recreate it onto. No! Where was I? But yeah, that's probably, I mean, it was small. Last cup of tea from there, but it's tea. But moving on to my second job. I mean, if you know where I used to work, then you know. If you know, you know, pretty much. Just because I don't, I guess, want to out anyone and make it obvious, but I feel like if you work there, if you know me, you still work there, then you'll figure it out. I honestly don't care like that. But anyways, so this second job, honestly, it was cool. I was there for 2 years, so it was fine. But it's always fine until it's not. And then it was cool, and it was a retail store, like a clothing store, so I really liked it. There was two sides to it, like the more, like obviously like the general clothing store, and then like for both men and women, and then the more intimate store for mainly women, and well, obviously only for women. But for a little bit, I worked on the general side. It wasn't bad. It was just honestly a little bit overwhelming, especially because I didn't really know like men's clothing. Or it's not like I was able to give like my own personal testimony. And so that's when I requested to be moved to the intimate side. And so I did, and it was honestly really cool. I love all my girls there. Mwah. But the first, do I have any cup of tea from when I was in the general side? Honestly, no. The only thing I could think of on that side was just this person that I feel like would terrorize everyone. And I feel like if you know, you know, this person terrorized everyone. At first, he was cool, but then, like I said, literally started terrorizing everyone, started beef with everyone. Like, it was just a non-stop cycle with this person. But on the intimate side, I feel like that's when it kind of started. No, actually, this issue in particular kind of started on the general side when I wanted to be like the store influencer, and it was cool at first. They were like basically like giving me like a try, especially because I would always post about the store, mind you. So if you follow me on Instagram and you follow me for a while, then you know. But I would always post the stores. They didn't have to ask me, and I would do videos for the store, like the store's Instagram account themselves as well. And like I would always be down. And at first, and then they started favoring people, and especially this certain manager. I'm like, girl, but whatever. And so when I went to the intimate side, like I still was posting about the story because obviously, like I wanna be like an influencer, like a public figure. So obviously, like I'm gonna just do what I can to get out there. And then at first they're like, okay, like even the like manager like of both stores introduced me to the regional manager or like the general manager of the area. I was like, oh, this is like introduced me as like the future store influencer. I'm like, per. So I got it in the bag, and so whatever. And but then they freaking, what kind of annoyed me is like I'm all for giving girls chances, but they would never tell me anything. I would always post, but when I wanted to do like something specific, like a little meet and greet with the girls, like just so like people could know like who they're, like if they want to make like an appointment, like they know who to book with. But they didn't want to do that, or like they were like, oh well, maybe we'll do it like on this day and blah blah. Never did it. And so whatever. And and like I said, I'm all for giving girls chances. I look scared right now, the trust process. I'm all for giving girls chances, but in this very particular girl, it's like, why give this girl a chance when she was scared to post on social media? Um she was never even posting on the store's Instagram account itself. So it's like it was literally always me behind the post. Probably only the other girl that wanted to do it, and she actually made sense just because she already had a platform. And so if it was her that got it, like I honestly would not be mad because it's like, okay, she makes sense. I see it. But the other girl was like, girl, come on. So that kind of took me off. And I wanted to become basically like a sales lead. So like I showed major interest in that. I took initiative a lot, like throughout the shift, especially like when a lead on our side wasn't there, or like our manager on our side wasn't there. Like I always took initiative, whatever. And I feel like a lot of the times they honestly took advantage of that. Not even gonna lie, but whatever. I took initiative, showed major interest in it, and like I would even want to make like spirit days, and they would always shut me down. Or there's this one time where I gave them like a whole calendar. This girl just reworked it, made it basic, and basically took credit for the whole thing, not saying like, "Oh, Viviana helped," and blah blah. Thank you to Viviana, like nothing like that. When I sent to her, I can't even speak. But when I sent it to her, like she didn't even tell me thank you, nothing like that. I'm like, oh, okay, per. And so that happened, and after I noticed that they just weren't gonna go with me, that's when like obviously I started looking for another job. That's when I actually found another job. And as soon as like they basically saw that like I was for sure leaving, um they literally just started training like the other girl that I was talking about earlier. I'm like, dude, like this girl wasn't there majority of the time. This girl, like, basically, just get the picture that it doesn't make sense that this girl would get it, but each their own. And so that's with that. And then another cup of tea would probably be with one of the managers when I basically told them why I think I deserve like sales lead, and I told her like, oh well, I take initiative. I didn't say initiative at first. I forgot what I said, but like I take initiative a lot. I help with the lunches. I train like pretty much the new girls. And like the only thing like I honestly do not know is like the numbers. Like I have trouble with that because I'm honestly not good at math and I just need a lot of practice. And she's like, well, just because you boss the girls around, you just don't get the idea that you should become like sales lead. But we'll put you on a plan. They never fucking put me on that. I was like, okay, per whatever. And that was that. And that was that cup of tea. Another cup of tea was just this one girl that I feel like not only me, but a lot of people just didn't get along with after a while because she was just always, at first, she was cool, she was nice, she was tolerable, but then she started becoming snarky, then she started giving attitude for no reason. And what gave me the biggest ick about her was this one time when she had said she doesn't like working like on the feminine side because no single guys go, like it's only guys with their girlfriends. I'm like, why the fuck did you apply specifically for like this side? Um, that was just a whole mess in itself, honestly. And I feel like I could go into more detail, but that'll make it really obvious in who it is. I feel like I kind of already made it obvious on who the other person is. But that's all I'm doing for that. I'm not gonna say anything else. I feel like that's all the tea I honestly really had from that retail store because it wasn't all bad, but like towards the end, it was just like, okay, like I know why I'm leaving now. I feel bad because I gave my favorite manager my 2 weeks and I wrapped it in a bow. And she was like, why are you giving it to me in a bow? Like, it's gonna make it any better. I'm just like, well, late Christmas gift? Merry Christmas? I tried to make her feel better. But not that she was like, obviously she knew, like, okay, there's people that could replace her, but I don't know. Because I really liked her. I really got along with her really well. So I just wish her the best. That's it. Only her. only certain other people like I wish the best there. A lot of people, pretty much the people that I follow on Instagram, I wish the best. Everyone else can fucking choke. Now let's get into my job at a school. Honestly, that was random, a random job. But my Nina had sent me because she had worked in the district that it was in. And I'm like, okay, why not? If she works there, like, it shouldn't be too bad, you know? But I mean, it wasn't too bad, but and we'll get into it right now. I applied, got the job, and I'm gonna just let you guys know right now something specific I said in my interview, like, because I feel like it's important. And they're like, oh, so why do you want to work with kids? Like, um, what, like, why should we choose you to work with, like, our kids, you know? And I said something along the lines, well, like, I want to make sure, like, I make a safe environment for the kids, make, like, basically, like, make sure, like, let them know, like, they're not alone, like, be like their built-in school friend, like, school best friend, and, like, just support them through anything, and just give them, like, a safe space. So, mind you, that's what I said in my interview. Everything was all good at first. Like, when I had first got there, my title was college tutor, and it was all fine. I wasn't even in a classroom yet. I want to say for like the first 2 week or two that I got hired, because for those 2 weeks, it was literally right before winter vacation. And so I was just in the office doing paperwork, filing paperwork. I was wrapping gifts for other staff members, like for the principal. Like I was doing like just things around the office pretty much. And it was all cool, whatever. And then there's this one, I ended up actually helping just one class, but it was literally just to help the teacher like move her stuff because I guess they had messed up her classroom when they had put in new flooring. And so I was just helping her like organize it. But that was pretty much like at least for the first week or two that I had like I was in a classroom. Whatever, fast forward after winter break is when I actually started getting put into classrooms. The first grade that I got to work with wasn't too bad. It was challenging. I learned a lot, honestly. For sure. I gained a lot of patience working with each grade that I did work with. So I'll say that it gave me that for sure. So, but no issue there. There's just this kid, because this grade I worked with, I'll say like, no, I'm not gonna say the grade just so I won't make it obvious. There's this kid who I like was just having trouble, and I feel like the teacher was really hard on him. Like, no, he needs to learn blah blah. But like, obviously, I was there to help him. Like, come on, like you can do it, you can do it. Like I was just supporting him. And mind you, he was just having trouble always remembering names, but he remembered my name. Like I take props for that. And so that grade was cool. That grade was fine. And then they moved me to another grade. I feel like that grade really taught me that like kids are freaking crazy. Kids are wild. Like they're out of pocket sometimes too. Like if they really wanna be, and that's scary. But honestly, that in the second grade I worked with was honestly my favorite, just because I feel like they were more an understanding group than like any other grade. Do I have tea there? No, I feel like honestly, all my tea started when I started working with another grade, which was the last grade that they put me with before the school year ended. And so everything was all cool, but they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put you with this one kid because they're complimenting me. They're like, you're more stern with the kids. You get them to do their work, so we're gonna put you with this one kid just because like for behavioral issues." And mind you, and that's not in my job description at all. But I was like, okay, sure. And at first, yeah, he was like, "Who are you? Who are you to tell me what to do?" Like, I was like, "Who are you to talk to me like that?" Like, I would give them the same energy back, and they were so shocked. It was honestly bad with that kid at first because they're like, "You have to follow him to the restroom if he needs a pencil. Like, you have to get it for him. Like he literally, poor kid, like could not do anything. But like after talking to him and just getting to know him, having patience for him with him, like he was just honestly such a good kid in the end. Like I honestly miss him already. What He was such a good kid after all. Like he was honestly just misunderstood. But anytime the teacher did mistreat him like on purpose, like I literally snitched out. I'm like, no, ma'am, not my kid. No, thank you. But he ended up honestly coming out fine. They ended up, like, the teacher and him ended up kind of resolving the issue. Like, I guess trusting him a little bit more, but we'll see. Hopefully, it goes better for him next year. And that's the tea on that. And then there's another kid who she always gives me issues. Like, I swear. Um, she was just so defiant. Like if you told her something that she just didn't like, oh, don't do this or stop it doing that, she would literally just throw a fit and not listen to you, or just completely shut down and not listen to you. And that was just so frustrating. Like, and mind you, keep in mind these kids are low key kind of important to my story. But there's another kid. He was so troubled. I just swear they put him back in the sack where he belongs. But he was just so like he was argumentative. Like if you argue with him, like he'll argue back. He really doesn't care. Like there was one time where he just didn't want to do his work. He wasn't listening to the sub anything. So he had asked to use the restroom, and mind you, he had used the restroom probably, I want to say, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes before he had asked me. I'm like, no, do your work first, do that small part, and then you could go. And he's like, what? What? Like, I can't wait that long. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but you need to do your work. You haven't been doing your work. Like, come on. Like, I'll even help you. He's like, no, I don't need help. I need to go to the restroom. I'm like, oh, no, sorry. Man, so kid you not, this kid was peeing himself like in the classroom, and he was smiling down. And I'm like, okay, go. So that's when I sent him, and I guess he came back, and I guess he didn't make it. And kids were like, oh, what happened? What happened? Like, what's wrong? And he was telling kids that basically I made him pee. I'm like, are you kidding me? And kids started making fun of him. I defended him, and I told the kids that were making fun of him to apologize. He's like, no, I don't need an apology from them. I need an apology from you. I'm like, excuse me? Like, I'm letting you know now, you're not getting any apology from me. He's like, well, I'm gonna tell the principal. I'm like, go ahead, I'm gonna tell the principal you weren't doing your work. You didn't want to listen to me. You didn't want my help when I tried helping you. Like, and he's like, go for it. And so he ended up telling the principal. And the principal was just like, next time, let the sub decide. I'm like, okay, whatever. I feel like that was like the first like thing that kind of got me annoyed. But anyways, and so they were talking about, no. Okay, let me finish telling you guys. I swear, I'm like trying to find it. Okay, found it. Okay, so let me finish telling you guys about the kids because it'll make sense. And there was another kid, a girl who literally just spoke Spanish, but she knew bad words in English, or like insulting things in English. I'm like, bruh. She called this kid's mom ugly during his, like, while he was getting his award, and just she was so brutal. She had stepped on a lizard one time, like in front of the kids, like traumatizing the kids. And I was like, oh, whoa. But she was honestly, but I want to say she was the better one of the three kids. Not my kids that I was personally watching over, but like the other two kids that I was telling you guys about, like, honestly a lot better because she would actually listen. But when she didn't, or when you did something she just straight up didn't like she would throw a full blown tantrum, saying she's gonna call her mom, tell her mom. And I'm just like, like, go for it, girl. Like, I'll call my mom. My mom, guarantee you, my mom's scarier. But she was, apparently kids were telling me that she was telling people I was hitting her, I was yelling at her, yelling in her face, when literally none of that even happened. Like kids will literally tell the craziest thing, bro. Like seriously, the craziest thing. And so whatever. And I would have issues with that whole lot. Like at least the three, the two girls and one boy. And anytime I would try to tell the principal about them, basically she would say like not to tell them anything. If I really need to like call her and not to engage with them anymore. Let the teacher decide and blah blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, why am I honestly hear that? And so finally, let me tell you guys about science camp. That was already a nightmare in itself. So I went with science camp. I went to science camp with the upper grade. Never again. Do not recommend. Not for the weak-minded. But because they were telling me about science camp, and I was like, oh, like if you guys need an extra person, I'm willing to go because like I've never experienced anything like that. So like, and plus it'll be a good experience, good exposure for me. Like that way, I learn like just learn how to work with the kids better, you know. And I'm like, okay, but mind you, they don't want to pay me extra. I literally just had to switch my days around, which was already annoying as it is. It was already annoying as it is. I had to switch days just to have my full 8 hours over there. And so, first day, they didn't tell me about these two girls until like we're literally already over there. And then like, oh, these two girls, like be careful with them because they're troublemakers. I'm like, first of all, you're barely telling me this now, and you're telling me that they're troublemakers, but you put them together. Like, and with me, like, come on. But I was like, whatever, I got this. Like, I'm gonna try to make it fun for the kids. And so I took my laptop, I took some sunglasses, like, I just took a whole bunch of stuff that I know would be fun for the kids, you know? And first day was cool. I got to know the girls, got to eat, whatever. And, but honest, it was a little rocky because obviously when towards bedtime, um, whatchamacallit, they were getting loud, and the other like staff member from the school that was there, she's like, if you guys are being really loud, if you guys get any louder, if you guys stay like this, then basically she was gonna be the new the new staff in that room, in my room. And all the kids were like, no, no, please, like you're this, like since I was like younger, they're like, no, please, if we want you. And I'm like, well, maybe listen to me then. And so that was that night. Second day slash night wasn't too bad, but it was just honestly very hectic. They did not want to listen to me. The two troublemakers, they took makeup when they were going on freaking hikes, and I just kept telling them like, girls, like, why are you wearing makeup? Like, I don't even have any of my makeup with me. Why are you guys wearing makeup? They weren't listening to me at all. I'm like, girls, and they just did not want to listen to me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I just left them, and I guess the other staff member ended up telling them something. And she's like, well, Miss, and she told another one of the staff members, well, Miss Viviana let them. I'm like, I did not let them. Like, I literally tried telling them something, they did not want to listen to me, and like, oh well. It was like literally an oh well moment. But that was that issue. And then I gave them my sunglasses. One of them ended up losing them on the freaking hike, but luckily ended up being returned to lost and found. So that got me annoyed. And then that made me not trust them at all. So I asked for all the sunglasses back because I took like five, I want to say, but they was like from Shein, so I'm not tripping. But at the same time, like they were still mine, you know. And that was that issue. And they just did not want to listen to me at all. They were doing their own thing. Even on night hikes when we're supposed to be super quiet, they were still talking. It's like, dude, like it's not that hard just to shut the fuck up. And that night, the other staff member had to threaten the girls again. They were being too loud. They left the shower. They leave the shower on because my group showered in the afternoons. Her group showered at night. Didn't leave any hot water for the other girls, and it was just so chaotic. And literally by the second, third day, like I was so ready to go. And the third day, I feel like is what really got to me and like everyone, is because the third day they still weren't listening, but they're being a little bit better. But then what got me annoyed is they didn't leave any hot water for the other girls again. The staff member got mad. I'm like, so I was already annoyed, and but what set me off is one of the girls like, "Oh, let's actually listen today, so we can have a good day." I'm like, I looked at her like with my crazy eyes. I was like, "Are you serious?" And I started going off on them. I'm like, if you think this like cutesy attitude, if you think this is cute and like funny, like wait until you get older, babe. Wait until you get older. Like not even to be like that, but I guarantee you're gonna meet someone that's not gonna like it and it's gonna rock your world. Like guarantee you. And they were just staying quiet. That just got me so mad. And I just was telling them, like, I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be with my dogs. I'd rather be with my animals. I'd rather be with my misbehaved kids. Like, come on. Like, I gave you guys my sunglasses. I play movies for you guys at night so you guys could fall asleep. I play whatever music you guys want so you guys could fall asleep at night. And you guys are just taking, like, straight up advantage of me. Then they started crying. And then I started crying because I was frustrated. And I was just like, and luckily, one of the staff members that ended up getting there probably the last night, he ended up helping me out with that situation. Love him, like he's really a real one. But he ended up talking to the girls, and he talked to me, and he was just telling me like, I know it's very very hard, like teaching nowadays. Like it's super hard giving any type of directions because like just parent like it goes into parenting, it goes into this, it goes into that, like just all very hard these past few years. I'm like, I know. He's like, if you need any more support, call me and like I'll come down even if it's in the middle of the night because you're being loud or something. I'm like, I will, thank you. So that issue was solved and I was literally ready to go. But as soon as like the last morning hit, I'm like, oh, ready to go. Like, let's go. That was camp. Never again. And then basically kind of going back to those three kids, I kind of after the camping trip, like for some reason after the camping trip, like this principal just did not want me like with the kids alone, nothing like that. And it's not like I literally didn't do anything wrong. But like it's literally with those specific kids like that she don't want me alone with. Like because anytime like I said like oh like I talked to them one on one and they're like no you can't. I'm like you didn't mind this like when I was with this other grade. You didn't mind this when you sent me to camp. Like what the heck? But whatever. I gave up on that. And something happened where this kid was crying randomly, and this kid like just doesn't cry. Like he's not an emotional kid. So I'm like, what the heck? And so I pulled him outside. I'm like, what's wrong? And like just to let him breathe, thinking it was like it had to do with the kid that like I watch over. He didn't want to talk at first. I'm like, okay, like I'll stay with you. Like, do you want me to stay with you? And he's like just nodding his head. I'm like, okay. And letting him breathe, just letting him cry. And then finally, I'm like, you don't want to talk to like any of the counselors? You don't want to talk to the principal? And he's like, no, I want to talk to you. I'm like, are you sure? Like, just trying to push him, like push him a little bit. And he's like, no, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, what's up? And he just told me something that like I had to report right away. And I was just like, what the heck? And when I tried to tell the principal, she shut me down as soon as I told her that like I pulled him outside because he was crying. She was like, you're not supposed to be with them one on one. You can't do that. Like, I already have parents complaining about you, asking who you are. I'm like, how come I was like never notified about like I honestly just stood there quiet. I honestly should have stood up for myself. But I was just like, what? Like where like how come I wasn't notified about this? Like what the heck? Like this is my first time hearing about this. But she was just telling me that I'm not supposed to be with kids one on one anymore. I can't I'm not. I can't redirect them. I can't discipline them. I can't. I'm not there to be their friend. I can't talk to them. I can't be buddies with them. Like her words exactly. Kid you not? Because they still haunt me to this day. I'm just another body in the room. I'm just like in my head. I'm like, so why am I there? And so luckily, when I had gotten back, like it was a recess time, so I was just like I just started crying and that's when like the teacher was like, "Oh, what happened? Like, what's wrong?" And I told her like she didn't even give me the chance like to tell her anything, and like I feel bad because he told me this, and he was just like sobbing, crying. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, "Oh heck no! Like, I'm gonna tell the principal. Like you were just trying to do that, and like that's not okay because." You helped me out a lot, and there's just so many things going on that you catch that I don't even catch. So like, thank you. Like, never think that you're useless here or nothing. Like, just know that you helped me out a lot. So, like, that honestly made me feel a lot better, especially because she had my back. So I'm like, okay, that's that's okay. But then it's like after that, they literally like all the staff members, at least that were like buddies with the principal, started alienating me. Like, didn't talk to me, wouldn't look at me, never stopped saying good morning to me like how they used to. I'm like, okay, whatever. After that, I was just like, I really do not care anymore. Like, the kids can do whatever they like. I even told the kids, I'm like, I can't tell you guys anything anymore. If you guys have an issue, like, I'm sorry. Go to the teacher, go to the principal. I'm sorry if you feel like they don't do anything, but like, you don't have another choice. And I feel bad because I feel like because when they came to me with a problem about another kid or something, like I would talk to everyone. I'm like, what's the issue? What happened? Like, what's going on? And I would talk to everyone and then get to the bottom of it. And it's like apologies here and there. And it's like, okay, over and done with. Like, problem solved. And that was that. And I feel like that's why a lot of the kids liked me. And like, I don't know. It's just I feel bad for the kids because they were telling me that they felt that as if like the principal doesn't do enough, the teachers don't do enough, and they feel like I was the only one that cares. I was like, don't tell me that. That's sad. Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna finish my lashes off camera because I don't know what lashes I'm gonna do really. So this is the final look, hair, makeup. Am I going anywhere? No. But am I gonna take pictures? Heck to the yes. But that was all the tea I had from all my jobs. My current job is currently not any tea because okay, I feel like there's not really time for even tea to happen because they're always literally with the customer. But yeah, pretty much that's it. We'll see how it goes so far. But other than that, I love you, besties. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed all my tea. And I will see you in the next story time when I tell you guys how I got 3 pebbles stuck in my nose. It's real. I promise you. But other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Do what you gotta do. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. But I love you, besties.
Hope you doing what you want. What you want.